Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today I'm talking about why love matters in the Philippines. One thing I noticed about in the Philippines with my friends and stuff, and I often tell people that are around me that I really care about, one thing I learned back home, and I've talked about this before in a couple of my other videos way back, it's about why love matters. And a lot of times when I'm going about my day or whatever, I always tell people, hey, I love you, or, like I even tell my neighbor, I say, I love you, Sai, because it's important for them to know that because they're like family to me. And I tell my daughter here and my little boy, I tell them, I love them every day. Sometimes I tell them 5, 10 times a day, and they tell me that too. My little boy comes up and tells me he loves me all the time. And my girl does too, and my girlfriend also. And we keep that flow going because I think when that flow goes away, people feel like it's gone away. And it just, having that makes a substantial difference in my family here. And I'm not trying to teach you something or whatever. I'm trying to tell you something that I've picked up and I've learned from. Okay, it just makes my life better and easier because I notice there's this more closeness in the family, and these are people that are going to take care of you when you get older, and you want them to know that you care about them, and it's also builds your family, and I don't want to make this a whole thing all about this, but I think it's important for a lot of expats because a lot of expats that come over here are grouchy, they're old, they've gone through hell in their life and back, and they bring some of that with them. And like I've told people before, leave that behind, guys. Let it go. Let it go. Let all that hate and anger stuff from your past, let all that go. Leave it on the tarmac back in whatever state you come from, and don't bring it with you. Bring a different outlook on life. One of the things that I noticed in my travels throughout my life was that a lot of backpackers, they're always happy. They always have like a certain, I don't know, they have like hope in their life. They have like happiness in their life. And I noticed that they have a certain love for people, and I noticed like some of today's generation, not all of it, there's some of the Americans back home, the younger generation, they're different, but I do notice like there's this group of people that they're so full of love, and it's amazing when they take that with them, they share it with other people, and you can see it. I watch this guy, it's called Trout and Coffee. He does a vlog, and he does beautiful videos, and I've mentioned him before, and he does videos with his friends, and you can tell his friends are just like his family, and he has like a genuine love for people. He did this story about this older guy that he came upon, and the guy helped him fix his truck when his truck broke down, his Land Rover. And they became really good friends, and he did a really fantastic story on this guy and just showed the power of love. And I think as we travel around and we meet people and we make new friends and stuff like that, sometimes we forget to tell people that hey man, I love you for doing that. That's really great. You know what I mean? That really means something to me that you helped me or whatever. And I want to let you know I love you for that. That's really good. Let people know that. But Americans are they feel like fearful of using those words sometimes. Not all of them, but a lot of Americans, and even Europeans sometimes. There's Europeans and Australians and people from all over the world, they're afraid to share the word love or to say I love you, or I really appreciate what you did for me. I love that you did that for me. Use that word more. Put the word love more in your vocabulary, and you'll see a big change in your life. It's one of the reasons why you see me smiling a lot, because I have a happy life because I know the people, I share that word and I get that word back to me, and it gives you such a good feeling in your heart to get that back from people. You know what I mean? And I even have some subscribers out there. I have really good subscribers that have become friends. Okay, they've become very dear friends. And, you know, we have Marina out there. Marina's a good friend of mine. Nathan, big shout out to Nathan. I love you, man. You know, him and I have become really close friends. Me and this guy Nathan, and we just talk back and forth. And you know, he's a fantastic man, and you know, we talk all the time, and we've just kind of got this like bond. Like, I don't know whether it's because we're basically from the same time period or whatever, but we kind of have like a bond together. And you know, you really grow to love people and appreciate people in your life. And you know, it's good to have those people in your life. And here's a guy I've never met before, you know, in person, but we are going to meet, you know, when he gets here to the Philippines, and we've become really good friends. I have my friend Rick back home, great friend. I love him to death, and he calls me all the time, and we talk sometimes for 4 or 5 hours on the phone in the middle of the night, you know. And you know, Rick is like a very special friend of mine. He's probably one of my dearest friends in the whole world, you know. And I have other people back home, like, you know, that I don't get to talk too much, you know, that I really appreciate, that help me. I have my power of attorney, Jen. I have a friend of mine, Flete, who I don't get to talk too much, who I love dearly because he's a really close friend of mine. And a lot of other people too that I you know, I don't have the time to mention because I have so many of them. But, you know, guys, use that word, and people will appreciate you more, and they'll think more highly of you if you express your feelings more. And for you older guys that are kind of grouchy and stuff like that, you don't have much time to tell people that you love them. Remember that. Share that. You know, open that old safe deposit box in your heart up and let that flow a little bit, you know, and you'll feel better about yourself, and you won't have any regrets when you pass away. You know, it's just something to, you know, put in your pipe and smoke for a while and think about that. Let that rattle around your head. That, you know, if you don't say those words, you're going to regret it when you die. And one thing I remembered is about my dad was, you know, I came to the point where, and I've talked about this in one of my videos in the past, was that as my father aged, my father never said, "I love you," that often. He would show you sometimes that he loved you, but he'd never say the words. Up until he got Parkinson's and was in the Chelsea Soldiers Home in Massachusetts, my father really, really never said the words, "I love you." And I just decided that if he's not going to do it, I'm going to be the one who initiates it. So one day when I was leaving, I says, "Hey, Dad, I love you." He looks at me and he says, "I love you too, Steve." You know, and after that, we started sharing those words all the time. Every time I left, you know, and when I said those words, my father would never really, like, stare at me. You know, when he was done saying goodbye to you, he was done saying goodbye to you, basically. And I remember in the Chelsea Soldiers Home, every time I left, he would sit in his wheelchair and he just, you know, and the last memories I have of my dad is saying "I love you" and him waving goodbye to me. You know, that's the last memory I have, and that's a good memory to have in your heart, you know, and in your memories, you know. And he had a friend named George Brown, and George was a really, really good guy, and they were best friends in the Chelsea Soldiers Home. And you know, I used to, like I've told this story before, I used to tell George I loved him because I did. George became a friend, like almost like part of the family, because my father used to put on like little dinners and stuff like that down at the Soldiers Home for all the people on his wing. He would pay for dinner and everything because my father had some extra money that he could do stuff like that. And you know, a lot of the guys in there we came to know and love, and George was one of them. And I remember always telling George, "George, I love you, George," and he'd say, "I love you too, Steve." You know, and it means a lot to people sometimes, and sometimes people need to hear that. And if there's one gift that you can give somebody, if there's one gift in this world that you can give somebody, love is the best thing. It's even better than money. Love is the best thing that you can give people. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, to tell you people that, because I see so many people out there, they're angry. they're mad. They're mad at their life. They're mad at people, you know. And when you see people that treat you good, man, let them know. Just say those words, you know. I mean, I don't want to make this vlog about stuff like this, you know, just about this. But I mean, it's an important thing, guys. And expats miss out on that sometimes. I really see a lot of grouchy, nasty expats out there, and it kind of saddens me to see that. And don't bring that here, guys, please. You know, we stressed this before. We've talked about this before, and I just want to put this video out there, guys, to kind of, you know, try to show you something that has changed my life. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care, and I love you guys. Thanks, guys.